Hi everyone, welcome to this new series on psychology. In this series, I'll be bringing you face to face with some very experienced psychologists and cover a variety of topics with them. So today I have a very special guest with you, with
Hi,
us, Mrs. Nalini Ramesh. I'll give welcome Nalini.
thank you.
I'll give you a background of Nalini's body of work. She has done her MA B.Ed, PG diploma in school psychology and child counseling from Jnana Prabodhini, and currently she is doing her second post graduation. She has been working with children for the last 20 years. Today we are going to touch upon a very important topic, which is good touch and bad. Let's start. Throw some light on the importance of this subject and what is an appropriate age for a parent or a teacher to have this topic with the child. When can they understand what exactly is bad touch?
First and foremost, let me thank Anaga and let me thank our viewers for giving me an opportunity to share my thoughts and my experience as far as our kids are concerned. So, thank you very much, Anaga. आणि असं मला वाटतंय की आपण हिंदी, मराठी आणि इंग्लिश तिन्ही भाषेमध्ये संवाद करूया. Is that okay
Yeah,
with
that's
you?
okay. That
Okay.
is fine.
So, your first question is that how important it is. इट्स आय वुड से दॅट हे आपण जे म्हणतो काळाची गरज आहे. इट्स व्हेरी व्हेरी इम्पॉर्टंट फॉर अस ॲज पेरेंट्स टू नो अँड अंडरस्टँड अबाउट द गुड टच अँड बॅड टच. And as you were saying that, what was your second question?
Second question was, what is the correct age when this subject can be spoken with a child?
See, the correct age I would say is 4 to 7 years. When the child goes out, then the child knows that there is one more world outside other than the family world. This age group, like 4 to 7, the child, teaching the child about good touch and bad touch, educating the child is very important.
Yes. So, what exactly should be considered as bad touch?
Now, this can be very unpleasant when the touch is inappropriate, when the child feels insecure about the touch, the child feels that, somebody is entering my boundaries, physical boundaries. And the fourth one is that the child has some sort of a, what do you say, a fear kind of a thing that the child is not able to express. That is what we call it as bad
So, this is
touch.
from a perspective of a child where the child is not liking something.
Absolutely.
Is there a legal interpretation as well?
Yes. See, what happened is that when the child is very small, when we talk about legalities and all, what is very important is the proof point of it. Anything, yes, yes. So anything that enters the legal zone, the first and foremost thing, what we as parents need to carry is the proof. And when the age group from 4 to 7, if this age group is experiencing something very unpleasant, somebody has crossed the boundaries, somebody is making me feel very weird, some experience of the touch is quite painful, how do you know the proof? See, as far as legalities are concerned, we have that POXO Act. This particular act, I think we have to take it very separately because it's too huge and it is we need to filter it before we share it with the audience. So I think this we will do it separately.
Yes. So now that in most cases the child may not be able to express and tell that something wrong is happening or has happened or whatever has happened is wrong. In such a case, is there a way that a parent or a school teacher or some adult at home can identify that something wrong has happened? Are there any symptoms that the child shows?
See, for a child, the most significant adult for the child is mother, father, teachers. And if there are some significant adults staying at home, like we say grandparents, uncle, and all that. But basically, mother, father, and teacher. These three people are most significant for a child. If any small changes in behavior, something, immediately these three people can identify, because the maximum hours that the child is spending are with these significant people.
Yes.
So, for example, if a child is coming home, from wherever it is, it may be a school, it may be from playground, it may be from swimming pool, anywhere. The child comes home, immediately the mother understands that either the child goes inside the room, the child is not talking to anybody. We have been calling, the mother is calling the child. Why don't you come and eat something? Why don't you drink something? Why don't you change your dress? Generally, what otherwise the child would do, the child would happily follow all that. And suddenly one day the mother notices that, okay, there are some deviations, there's something which is not usual. The child may be, for example, refuse to eat. The child will become extremely cranky. The child will be very irritable. The child doesn't respond properly. Now, we should also remember that even without the abuse, children may behave like that.
Yes. That's what I was going to say.
Yes, they may behave like that. There may be n number of reasons for that.
They just had a
Fight with the friends. Yes, they had fight with the friends, or they have been, they by mistake they broke something.
Yeah.
It can be anything. But we'll find that a child who is abused, there's some marked behavior one need to identify. Like, the child is not able to sleep for a long period of time.
Okay.
Now, there may be also other reasons. That's why we need to have a professional help. So there may be the child have not done the homework. Tomorrow the teacher is going to ask. Okay, if I tell my parents about it, I'll be questioned. That also can be the reasons. But you can easily make out that the child who is sexually abused it will show one classic symptoms. Like the depth of the irritation, the depth of the crankiness, and the a suppressed emotion that comes out with great intensity, and the child is manifesting it in a very sharp manner.
Okay.
That I don't want.
Intensity changes.
Intensity changes. Okay. The act of the abuser and the experience of the child. Whatever is the intensity of the act, the intensity of the manifestation will be shown.
But it is said that sometimes the child getting, say, scared of a certain person because that person is the abuser. There could be another possibility that the child is overly friendly with that person because maybe the person is enticing.
Absolutely. Yes. You'll find that there are, there are some girls and boys who are going by bus. They go to school and all that. Many of these people, the abuser generally, they tend to lure the child. Right. Either with some, nowadays of course children get chocolates and all, with some sort of a thing like, he's got some games in his computer, in his mobile. Who? The adult, the abuser. Or he'll say that I have got something. He's very good in communicating with the child in such a way that child is totally with him to do all these acts.
So in that case, identifying may be a little more difficult.
See, what happens, I always tell the parents, that whenever the child comes home, please make it a point, at least for an hour, there has to be a good communication with the child.
Communication is the key.
That is extremely important. When the child comes home, like it's not that, okay, mummy मी घरी आलो आहे, त्यांनी बॅग ठेवलं, चल मला खायला दे, मी खेळायला जातो. No. The child is coming home, सगळं झाल्यानं, it has to be a routine where the mother is communicating for 1 hour quality time with the child without, the mother focusing her attention anywhere. Just the mother and the child, or the father and the child, sitting and asking every damn thing that has happened.
Correct. So, if a parent or counselor realizes that it could be a case of sexual abuse, what should be the approach to handling or solving the problem?
See, first and foremost, what we do is that we first talk to the parents.
Okay.
uh, what is more important is that what type of a relation, or what is the equation in the relationship
Hmm.
between the child and the mother, the child and the father, and the mother and the father.
Hmm. Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
like many times it happens that these things go unreported, and the child suffers for quite longer duration of time.
Hmm.
So we first go and communicate with the parents, and it is always a teamwork. The mother, father, and the one who is helping them. And after identifying the whole thing, we have certain strategies. To After once it is identified, we use certain strategy. I mean that I cannot be telling it right now. We
Okay.
use our strategy, and then we help out the child.
Today's kids are brought up in a very safe, secure environment, and we go out of our way to ensure that safety is the primary thing that we offer the child. So, in spite of all that, how rampant are these cases? And I want to specifically ask, like, does this happen in middle class families? Is class or income category even a question in such thing? I mean, does it even matter that where what is the background of the child? We have CCTVs, we know video door phones, who is entering, who is going out. Some households may not have that luxury. That is why I'm asking.
सी मला असं सांगायचं आहे, समजा आता भरपूर टेक्नॉलॉजी असलं तरी, फॉर एक्झाम्पल आपण म्हणतो सगळीकडे कॅमेरा वगैरे लावलेले आहेत, तरी या केसेस वाढतातच आहेत. व्हॉट्स हॅपनिंग इज दॅट लेट मी फर्स्ट गैरसमज जे आहे, विल फोकस ऑन दॅट. हे गैरसमज आहे की sexual abusing or happens only in slum areas. गैरसमज आहे की sexual abuses happens only in broken families and troubled families. Sexual abuses happens, like only in those places where children are alone. Like कोणच नहीं है, एकदम सुनसान सा जगह है, कोई नहीं है, बच्चा अकेला खेल रहा था ना, इसके लिए ऐसा हुआ. नो, ते होत असेल, पण these all are like sexual abuses happens only with girls. No, it happens with boys also. And also sexual abuses does not happen with families who are well educated, families who are financially very good, or families who are highly spiritual. तो होत
That's a
नाही आहे.
myth.
हे सगळं मिथ आहे. All these are गैरसमज.
Okay.
It happens
How,
everywhere.
how big is the problem? How huge is the problem?
See, that's what I was telling you, Anagha. कसं होतं, these things go unreported. And even now, we can say that 20 to 30% of adults जे आहे आत्ता, even today they are suffering from the scar. हे लहानपणी जे झालेलं आहे सेक्शुअल अब्यूज, ते अनरिपोर्टेड गेलेले आत्तापर्यंत ते सफर करतायत.
And if the abuse is stopped as soon as possible, does the child come out of it?
Yes. See,
There are methods for the child
Yes.
to help come out of it.
yes, definitely. There are methods, there are techniques, there are strategies, and there are some methodology. When we work with children, the child is able to come out.
It is said that in most cases, the perpetrator is a known person. What would you say on that?
Absolutely, I agree with it. The abuser, you will find that's what I said, na, ki the abuser is not necessarily an unknown person. हे गैरसमज आहे. Abuser is also a known person. It can be within, or it can be at society at large.
Any examples you want to give?
Okay.
I know the examples could be gory and explicit, but why I'm asking is because just to throw light on some of the relations are so considered pure, natural, and it might be a shocker
Absolutely.
that someone whom you trusted all your life. So, do you think such trusts have been broken
Yes, I have.
badly?
Yes, I have seen so many cases. Well, I would just like to quote one case. There was this child. She was around 6.5. I'm talking about some years back. She was 6.5 years old. There was a person within the family, like every time this particular person was and very in a close relation. This this person used to take her out for a drive, and they used to go to have pizza and all those stuff. And it so happened that the child was slowly the child started showing many symptoms, like, and this baby girl was in the close vicinity of that person all the time. The mother was working, the father was also working, and this gentleman used to take her out. She used to take her for swimming, take her in a restaurant. Okay, I'll give you your favorite ice cream. I'll give you your favorite food, whatever you want. I'll take you to the mall. You can buy whatever you want. You know? So the child became very close to him. And the parents used to come home late. Both of them are working. Parents used to come home around 8:30. And they're so tired. It's like, and then they don't even have time to talk to the child because they're thinking about the next day work. And then
Right.
they go to sleep. And early morning, what? The parents go to work. And again, the child is left with that person. Again, the same thing starts. He's taking the homework, he's doing all the activity, and the parents were cool and contented, thinking that, okay, somebody is taking care of him, who is a family member, is taking care of the child. Slowly, it so happened that the child was abused for a longer period of time. And then we found that the child refused to sleep at night. Whole night the child used to be awake. And there are some physical symptoms also the child was showing. And the child refused to eat. And when we spoke to the teachers, the teacher said, no, the classroom she's all the time sleeping. Because night there is no sleep at night. She doesn't sleep at night. And daytime in the school, the child is sleeping on the desk. They generally sleep like this.
Yes.
And then this girl was a brilliant child. And her scores came down, like if you say out of
I can
out of
imagine.
out of 40 whatever marks they had, like she started getting one digit. So these are the areas, like her academic area, her social area, her family area, her play area, all these quarters started getting affected because of this one act. All it started showing in all areas of her life. This was the worst case that we have seen.
I shudder at the thought. Oh my God.
And also, what happens is that nowadays we need to educate the children. There are various workshops. How do we educate the children without creating a fear in them?
Do the kids really understand what is
Yes.
happening?
Yes, they understand. Means after the abuse?
Yes.
Yes. Not exactly what we as an adult understand. That experience is something very they cannot explain. The unpleasant experience that the child is undergoing, the child cannot express in words. Hence, the child will express through behavior.
I'm pretty sure that the parents understood it first and then they sought help.
Yes.
And well, you guys are professionally trained, and but are the parents able to get the story out of the child, or finally the child speaks in front of a counselor?
See, one thing we should remember, the child as such will never speak word by word to us.
Right.
It will never ever speak. It's only through various, now we had a play therapy session. From that play therapy, the child will tell us exactly what happened.
Okay.
It's a very specialized skill, administrating a play therapy to the child, depending on what age group the child is. The baby girl is very small. Then we use certain materials and certain tools for play therapy. And after administrating that, we understand what exactly, and then we take out the profile. What exactly the child is wanting to tell us. See, many times it so happens that the parents, they themselves are not educated about this.
Right.
असं होतं ना की नाही नाही, असं थोडी असू शकतं, छ्या काय पण म्हणतात. नो
Right, right.
आणि असं पण होतं की नाही हे सगळं इथे कुठे, हे सगळं वेस्टर्न कंट्रीजमध्ये होतात, आपल्याकडे काय असं होत नाही. नो, इट डझंट हॅपन दॅट वे.
So then my next question is, how do you stop it? Considering that, for example, the case you mentioned, the person was part of the family. So how do you stop it? Does you have to take legal action against the person, or it is just because sometimes it may not be proven, you just have to throw the person out of the house, or what?
See, first and foremost is as far as the legalities is concerned, as I told you, that POSCO Act, we'll have a separate session for that. Now, as far as these, first and foremost, what we do is we communicate with the parents. And see, these things have to be dealt with great maturity, great understanding, and very fine communication skill with adults. See, basically, what is our objective? Our objective is to safeguard the child.
Yeah.
It's but natural that if the parents understand, they get very angry about it. If they really understand what the child is feeling, their first reaction, I'm saying reaction, I'm not saying response. Their first reaction is, after they understand, is to get angry. They'll have a verbal fight, or there'll be a lot of fights between the husband and wife, that is the mother and the father. This is not going to help the child.
Like, it's your point, right?
Yeah, like it's from your side. They'll say, no, it's from your side, kind of a thing. Is this going to help the child? No. So first and foremost thing, what we'll be doing is to protect the child. How do we protect the child? We see, by reacting, we can say, okay, you just get out from here. That doesn't work. We plan a strategy in such a way that this particular person who has been doing this, we are showing them the way out in a very graceful manner. That is, we are responding to. I know it's difficult.
Yes, because
Yeah, it's difficult.
I don't think they deserve the dignity of, like, please step out.
See, that is what, as I told you, one has to be little. We should deal with it in a very mature manner. Always remember, a child. Our focus is the child.
Correct.
Our focus is not that abuser.
Correct.
We'll better use all our energy, our creativity, and all our nurturing style with a child, not with that abuser.
You also mentioned that it's a myth that girls undergo abuse.
Yes.
What about other genders? And I am speaking plural
Yes,
genders, because
yes,
now it is, you have to be correct when you
Yes,
say that.
absolutely. See,
How big is that percentage?
it's huge.
That is also
Yes,
huge.
whether it is a girl or any gender.
Any gender.
And also, we also conduct workshops. And always remember, whenever we take this workshop for small children, there should not be more than 5 kids. Generally, what happens, whenever a workshop is conducted on good touch and bad touch, you will see that there are 40 children.
Okay.
From the age group from 4 to 7, 40 children. It doesn't work like that.
My observation is that mostly this session happens in school.
Yeah.
And it does not happen at home.
Yes.
Even today, it is not happening at home.
Yes.
It is happening in the school.
Yes.
And हो गया. School में हो गया. बताया ना तुझको. Done.
See,
And so the entire class will be present for the lecture. So it will be 30-35 kids.
see what happens as far as school is concerned. The teachers have to finish their portion they also have limited time, and then in that limited time they are also handling, see, they are generally working in a framework of a system, like they have to finish their portion and they have to go for correction, and there are other works also, like other work also, and then if the school is from 9 to 5, that 9 to 5 they have a lot of tasks to do, and also these tasks have to be reported. So this particular topic, which is a highly sensitive topic, is just another task. So we can't blame them also, but ideally a good workshop or a good session would be not more than 5 children, and it should be both for girls and boys together in that 5 group session.
So what role can parents play?
Oh yes,
because the parents may not even believe the child that something like this happened.
happens.
So there are two questions, like what role can parents play, and secondly, when you conduct this workshop, how do you teach the child to stop this from happening in the first place? So what is that education?
That's what I was telling. When we conduct the workshop, first and foremost, we involve the parents. Like, for example, we are having only 5 kids, like 2 girls, 3 boys, 3 girls, 2 boys. When we have the workshop, first and foremost, we tell the parents what is the objective of our workshop, how are we going to conduct this workshop, and in what way the parents will get involved in the workshop after the workshop.
Correct.
So when we conduct this workshop, we generally don't allow parents. Why? Because some children, they are not very spontaneous in front of the parents. It's not that we are going to investigate something. It's only that free flow communication between us and the kids, we don't want that to go elsewhere. And then later on, we also talk to the child and we call that particular parent, the mother or the father, and then we tell them how to go about it. की असं म्हणायचं आहे ना की एवढं आम्ही एज्युकेट केलेलं आहे, ह्याचं फॉलोअप तुम्ही कसं करायचं.
Role does a psychologist play in healing the victim? How for example, you must be conducting maybe some therapy session or something like that, but how long is this process? And
see, it depends. Each child comes with their own sets of emotions. They all are different. Like for example, if there's a small child, like if the child falls down, okay, cycling करता करता तो खाली पडला, त्याला थोडंसं पायावर लागलं. काही मुलं अशी असतात, ते पटकन उठतात आणि कुछ नाही हुआ, आणि काही दुसरी मुलं असतात, थोडं लागलं असेल तरी ते खूप ड्रामा, मला असं झालं, मला तसं झालं, अँड ऑल दॅट. इट्स अ ब्युटिफुल वे ऑफ एक्सप्रेसिंग. तसे असतात. इथे आपण आयडेंटिफाय करतो की एक्झॅक्टली ते स्कार किती डेप्थमध्ये गेलेलं आहे. स्कार मीन्स आय एम टॉकिंग अबाउट द इमोशनल स्कार. डेप्थ किती आहे, ते बाळाला किती तो सहन करतो, किती त्याला ते नको नको वाटतंय. It differs from child to child, case to case. Let's not call it as case because it looks very detached kind of a thing. Each child has they come with different sets of emotions.
How many parents are aware of this type of abuse? And is the awareness in this generation better than the earlier generations, or how can this awareness be improved?
Well, see, in older generation, in the past generation, अशा गोष्टी होत होत्या, पण द फिअर फॅक्टर वॉज खूप जास्त होतं. फॉर एक्झाम्पल, आता समजा कोणी असं घरी आहे की मग अरे कसं सांगायचं, तर मेनी अ टाइम्स द मदर किंवा द फादर ते स्वतःच ते लपून ठेवायचे. लाईक जुन्या काळात कसं होत होतं की असं काही झालं असेल की द चाइल्ड विल डेफिनेटली गो अँड टेल द फादर ऑर द मदर इन हिज ओन वे, इन हिज ओन लँग्वेज ऑर ओन एक्सप्रेसिंग, की मला असं केलं, मला इथे टच केलं, मला तिथे टच केलं, मला आवडलं नाही, वगैरे वगैरे. हे माहीत असायचं आईबाबांना, पण दे वुड नॉट like they'll say, नाही चालेल ते विसरून जा. With one thing was always, "हा, काय नाही होत, विसरून जा." But विसरून is a memory thing. It doesn't work that easily. But nowadays, what happens, parents, they're aware of it. But I would also say that there are two, see, technology awareness, the technology which talks about all these things, it's just that we are reading it. Reading, I would say it is not awareness. See, if I read a book on good touch and bad touch, okay, I understand.
You don't feel it.
I don't feel it, and I don't I don't know exactly what is happening with the child.
Correct.
That's the reason why I was saying that the mother should always communicate with the child, and not through phone or WhatsApp. It's direct communication with the child and asking the child about every small details. Then that awareness comes. For example, if the child is coming home, a boy is coming home, आज कुठे गेला होता वगैरे वगैरे, everything you ask. Then the child say ना, आज आहे ना ते ड्रायव्हर काकानी ना सगळ्यांना सोडलं ना, पाऊस येत होता, मला उशिरा सोडलं. Then that has to be उशिरा सोडलं.
Red flag.
रेड फ्लॅग. अच्छा, मग काय झालं? नाही ते तिथे थांबून आहे ना त्याने पाण्याची बाटली घेतली. ओके दॅट वे.
Right. What is the biggest message you would like to give the audience?
The biggest message, more than saying biggest, I would say that more workable message for all our parents is that I would say that please spend quality time with your child. And yes, I agree that the mother and father both are going for work. But I would say that that should not be the reason for not communicating with the child. Whatever is going on in our minds, like working, like going for work, working, I have to do the household work, I have to go out and work, whatever it may be, I would say that keep everything aside. It's easy to keep everything aside. And then talk to your child. More than talk, I would say speak to your child. There's difference between talking and speaking. Speak to your child. Have a lot of patience with the child. The child will communicate with you in a beautiful manner that you will ever experience. Not only about this, about anything. Either you can go out to a park, or you can, go to any place where only you and your child, not even your mobile with you. And once you start speaking slowly to the child, and also explore, the people who are taking, there are many people, of course, who takes these workshops very effectively, and check who are these people who takes this workshop, and then attend to their workshops. It's not that I'm marketing myself. There are many people who are taking. Check who are taking this workshop and how is it. It's a must, I would say. I would say that it is educating this child about good touch and bad touch is life skill, just like swimming. Please go for that.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Nalini.
Anaga. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.